welcome to All Things Podcast. I am your host, Nazi, and today we want to take a look at a few. I think we have a lot to share today. We have a lot to share from what has been happening and to where we are actually. So, we will focus on the Project 2025 and focus on what Donald Trump is doing. Now, I should confess, I should say this before we go any further that you know a lot of us has been undermining Donald Trump and thinking Trump is the most stupid, the most wicked or a loser president, the worst president America has ever had. But from today, I'm moving away from that opinion or from that school of thoughts. I don't believe Trump is the worst president America has ever heard. I don't believe Donald Trump the most um, useless president the world has ever heard. You see, I believe Donald Trump is the most, uh, should I say, powerful, or should I say, the most advantageous president, because his second term comes at a time where the global powers are reshaping for the new world order. And Trump happens to be at the center of that new world order. Robert Bush, 858, welcome. Thank you, brother, for joining us. Thank you for joining us. All right. So I believe that Donald Trump is his second term happens during a time in which the global powers, or the global elite, or the people who are controlling the world, are at their final stage of a new world order. And Trump happens to be the president during this time of Earth's history. That put Donald Trump in a position that no president has ever been or has ever dreamed. Because what will be Trump's legacy? Trump's legacy will be that he was instrumental in making sure that America brings about a one world government. Because if you look at what Trump has been able to achieve, he has achieved power for the United States of America. All right. So here it is that they say Israel tried to get Bush to bomb Iran. George Bush refused. They tried to get, I think all the Bushes refused. They tried to get Obama. Obama refused. They tried to get Biden. Biden refused. And only Donald Trump, I know, agreed to bombing Iran. So we have that history. And when we go back to history and look at the president who was able to finally bring about the New World Order, it will not be George Bush. It will not be Obama. It will not be Biden. It will be Donald Trump. When the New World Government, the One World Government, has been enacted, all praise, all honor will go to Donald Trump, a brave president who was willing to attack other nations who were not willing to have a one world government. Because what Trump is doing currently, it is dealing with countries who are refusing to be part of the one world government. That is what Donald Trump is doing. So when all this is said and done, and we have this one world government, one world religion, all praises will go to Trump and the Pope. Right now, we see it appears as if Trump and the Pope are fighting. That's why we're calling it a fake war, all right? A fake alteration. There is no bad blood between Donald Trump and the Pope. These two are one. These two are working together. Of course, the Pope controlling Donald Trump. Of course, the Pope controlling Donald Trump, but they're working together. So I want us to analyze it in terms of what is happening currently. Currently, all ships, all tankers, oil tankers have left the Strait of Hormuz, and they are going to the United States of America to buy oil. Okay? There are no oil tankers lingering in the Strait of Hormuz. Majority of the tankers since yesterday have been moving towards the United States of America to go buy oil from the United States of America. Now, that simply means the United States of America is now responsible for the global supply of oil. All right? That simply means the United States of America is now responsible for the global supply of oil. If you need an oil, if you want oil, you must go to the United States of America and buy your oil from them. If China needs oil, China must go to the United States of America to get oil. If Russia needs extra oil, more oil, they must go to the United States of America to get that oil. That is what Trump has achieved. Welcome, welcome, and good morning to you. Your name, I cannot read your name, but welcome and thank you for choosing to join us this morning. And I welcome all of you. KC65, thank you for joining us. Welcome to All Things Podcast. We thank you for choosing to spend these few minutes with us. KC65 says, our gas stations are open 24/7, even during Ramadan. Yeah. That is true. But here's the thing. I want us to focus on the United States of America and specifically what Donald Trump has been able to achieve. All right. What Donald Trump has been able to achieve and what has always been the goal for Donald Trump. Yes, bearing in mind that Donald Trump is used as a puppet. But many people are not aware that Donald Trump is used as a puppet. Let us look at at Trump's legacy after this war. Good morning from South Carolina. Hey, morning, Atari Sun Shepherd. Welcome. And I hope you are fine there in South Carolina. Ive P78, I consume pork 24/7, especially during Ramadan. Yeah, come on. Why would you post that? Why would you consume pork during Ramadan? Is Ramadan not supposed to be a time of fasting, a time to spend with God, dedicate yourself to God, to abstain from anything that defileth? Come on. Give some honor to Ramadan. But anyway, IRVP78, welcome. I want us to look at what the legacy of Donald Trump will be when the one world government has been enacted. All right, I'm going to explain K65. I'm going to explain who the puppet master is. The puppet master is the papacy. The puppet master is the papacy. All right. So here is how things are going. So, and then I'll come back to explaining the puppet master after I've dealt with this point. Just allow me space and time to deal with this point, and after that I will talk about the puppet master. What I'm saying is that Donald Trump, when the one world government and one world religion is enacted, Donald Trump will go in history as the man who made that possible. Because the mandate of Donald Trump is to go all over the world and eliminate all nations that are enemy to one world agenda. Countries like Russia, countries like China, countries like Cuba, countries like North Korea, countries like Iran, countries like Venezuela, who wanted their independence, okay? Who did not want to depend on America, who do not trust America. China does not trust America. Russia does not trust America. Iran did not trust America. Venezuela did not trust America. North Korea does not trust America. So Cuba does not trust America. So these are countries that the United States identified as enemies to this one world agenda, one world government agenda. So Trump is bold enough to go on behalf of the papacy or on behalf of the powers that be to go and eliminate these countries or the leaders of such countries who are becoming a stumbling block to this one world government and one world religion, right? So Iran is an enemy to what the powers that be wants to achieve, because Iran, it's Islam, all right? Muslims, okay? Strict Muslims. They don't want their religion to be mixed up. They don't want their religion to be diluted, all right? They don't want their sovereignty to surrender their sovereignty to the United States of America and the papacy. Same with China, same with Russia, okay? They want to be independent. They want to be world superpowers, China and Russia. But the United States says, I cannot allow Russia, China, Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, and all of them, North Korea, to have more military power than me. I cannot allow them to own massive missiles, massive nuclear power bombs, because they will be a threat to what I want to do. In other words, the United States of America wants to achieve its goals globally without thinking of a threat, without having to look back on who's coming to get me. And therefore, eliminating countries like Iran, Russia, China, Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, it is in the best interest for the United States goal to finally have the one world government. Now, remember, who wants the one world government? The one who wants the one world government is the papacy, all right? It's the papacy, all right, it's the papacy. Now, the papacy controls the United States of America, and therefore whatever Trump is doing it on behalf of the papacy. Now, to answer you, KC65, explain who's the puppet master. The puppet master is the papacy, all right? We'll welcome, America has a 5-time draft Doja leading them in war, all right? Miriam Flo says, good morning, good morning. Jason Polkles, military service is not a prerequisite to be POTUS. Where did you serve? A big mouth, all right? Alnoth says, what the hell are you talking about? Many Americans don't like America. Very true. KC65, insightful, big picture frame. Okay, this is what is happening. You may say America don't like Trump. The reason America don't like Trump is because the mainstream media and the powers that be, they want Trump to be viewed as a stupid president, as a foolish president, as a president who has no brain, as a president who has lost his mind, okay? And globally, everybody regards Trump as a fool, regards Trump as an imbecile, you know, a president, a worst president ever, you understand? Some, they even liken Trump to, I mean, to the most useless thing you can ever find in the world. That's how they want you to think of Donald Trump. But look at what Donald Trump has achieved. Americans who don't like America, Trump has made sure that America today is the powerhouse of oil, is the source of oil. All the world must buy oil from America because of Donald Trump. Before Donald Trump attacked Iran and Venezuela, the Middle East was playing a major role in supplying oil globally. Today, no one is getting or receiving oil from the Middle East, okay? No one today is receiving oil from the Middle East. All tankers, all oil tankers are in the United States as we speak, buying their oil from the United States of America. All oil. The Strait of Hormuz is empty. There are no ships getting oil from the Middle East. Oil, if you want oil today, you go to the United States of America. That is a fact and that is truth. We know that the Strait of Hormuz is shut as we speak. We know that there is no flow of traffic as we speak in the Strait of Hormuz. So where do the nations get their oil from? They get their oil from the United States of America. All right. Zanele Sitole, welcome, Zanele Sitole. Welcome to All Things Podcast. We are analyzing the power that Donald Trump has played in shifting the oil market. All right. The oil market is now in the USA. Antistella says, I love my country, but the president is doing wrong, in my opinion. He needs to stop backing other countries and take care of his business here and fulfill his campaign promises here. Captain Blackbird says Trump called himself a doctor. Yeah, he did that. Thanks for the business supreme leader. Yeah, this is what I want us to see. Forget the Trump calling himself doctor. Forget Trump posting himself as the Pope. Look at what Trump has done in the past 5 days. Focus on what Trump has done for America in the past 5 days. In the past 5 days, Trump has achieved something that no president in the United States has ever achieved. Trump has made the United States of America the oil powerhouse. Every ship in the world, it's moving towards America to receive oil. Those who used to get their oil from Venezuela, they are now getting oil in the United States of America. And this is what Trump wanted in Iran. He wanted to control the oil. He wanted to control the Strait of Hormuz, all right? He wanted to control the Strait of Hormuz so that he can control the oil. You may call Trump whatever you want to call him, but what he has done, it's powerful. He has shifted the global power when it comes to this resource, to this natural resource, to this important natural resource, oil. There is no industry, there is no company, there is no household, there is no business, there is no aircraft, there is no car, there is no ship, there is no boat, there is no machine that does not need oil. All right? Globally, every market thrives on oil. From the shipping of the clothes we wear, the shipping of the food we eat, the shipping of the gadgets we use, the shipping of each and everything is dependent on oil. And currently, who controls the oil of the world? Is the United States of America. Yes, the United States of America does not control 100% of the world's oil currently, but it will control it soon. They will get the Strait of Hormuz, they will get the oil in the Middle East. Because right now, right now, right now I'm laughing because a topic that made us to discuss it for over 40 minutes yesterday, it's back. Quick welcome. He says, did you figure out has Don't You card? All right, KC65 says, many can't do that because they think it's their job to contain his ego. All right, Miriam Flows, he also wants to protect us from atomic bomb, right? No, atomic bomb does not exist. Nuclear does not, these nuclear threats, atomic bomb, weapon of mass destruction, it does not exist. They just need an excuse to go to a country to take its resources. So Iran was not posing any danger to the Americans or to the Israelites or to anybody in the Middle East region. But remember, they work on creating crisis. They create crisis and they create chaos. And then out of that chaos, they bring about order. So they cannot just go into a country and just attack it without a reason or a reasonable reason. So they must create a narrative that the whole world will be riding upon. Say, look, we're going to bomb Iran because Iran has nuclear. We're going to bomb Afghanistan because we're going to bomb Libya because they've got weapons of mass destruction. So they create a narrative so that the world can be fed this narrative so that when they go and attack that nation, the world can fold their arms and say, no, you are doing good. All right. So there is no such a thing as atomic bomb coming from Iran. If Iran had atomic bomb, they would have used it. Why is it that Iran has not used its nuclear? Why is it that Iran is losing almost $200 million a day? Because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, Iran is losing more than $200 million a day. So if they had nuclear, if they had atomic bomb, they will just use that, but they don't have it. That's why they cannot use it. So it is not true. It's lies. It is lies. Okay. So the fact that what I want us to know today is that Trump has done something for the Americans, which the Americans do not now see and do not now understand. The dollar was being threatened by the BRICS nations, because you'll remember before Trump began his war in Iran, the BRICS countries were about to begin to trade in their own currency. They were about to drop the dollar, the petrodollar. So if the BRICS countries were able to drop the dollar and now begin to trade in their own currencies, what was going to happen to the dollar? The dollar was going to fall. But today, the dollar is stronger and it will become stronger. The dollar will never fall because all the wealth will go to the United States to buy oil using dollars. All right? Therefore, Trump has done something powerful. All right? Something powerful. As much as I say Trump has done something powerful, remember, he's a puppet. So the puppet master has made sure that the United States of America remains the world's powerhouse, remains the world's superpower. And that power behind the United States, or the power behind Donald Trump, is the papacy. All right, is the papacy. Okay, KC65 says, I can totally agree. US made a power play on oil. Trump knows where the leverage is and cajons to take. A true opportunist. Exactly. KC65, exactly. Trump played chess here. Trump played chess here. He did something that Iran did not see coming. Okay? Iran thought by closing the Strait of Hormuz, it will hurt. Remember, the United States of America, they don't need the Strait of Hormuz for oil. Okay, they have oil in London, they have oil in the United States, they have oil, Venezuelan oil, and oil in Africa. All right, United States control all those. So Iran did not see this coming, because what Trump has done, think of it this way. Let's say Iran was Trump's girlfriend. Iran was Trump's girlfriend, and then Trump says to this Iran, his girlfriend, hey baby, will you come over tonight? I want to spend some time with you. And Iran says, no, I'm not going to come. I'm not going to come. All right. And then Trump says, well, it's either you come or else I will make sure that you never leave your place. And then Iran says, well, it's fine. It's fine. I will stay here at home. And that's what Trump has done to Iran. Iran has been isolated from the world. Iran has been isolated from the world. Iran is isolated from the world. Iran is no longer supplying oil globally. All the ships, all the tankers that used to go to Iran to get their oil, Trump has isolated Iran. All the ships right now are going to the United States of America. All right. Okay, Iles Taylor says riding with Trump means putting America jobs first, period. Well, Iles Taylor, okay. Hi, are you Muslim? No, I am not Muslim. Taylor says backing Trump is how we lock in those American jobs and keep the bag at home. That's what exactly Trump has done, but many Americans are not able to see that today. They don't appreciate that today, but later they will begin to appreciate what Trump has done. All right, so this is what has been happening. And now to answer you again, KC65, who is the puppet master? When we say Trump, it's a puppet. And now, who is the puppet master? All right, let's answer that one in detail. Let's do justice to that one and answer it in detail as to who is the puppet master, who controls Trump. All right. Taylor says Trump keeps it 100 and goes hard against the establishment. Red note. Look, I mean, Trump is the boldest president in the world. Trump doesn't care about what the global powers think of him. Trump does not even care about what Americans think about him. Trump doesn't care about any world organization. He doesn't care about the United Nations. He doesn't care about the World Health Organization. He doesn't care about the World Trade. He doesn't care about any. He doesn't care about any. All right? And the reason he doesn't care is because the master wants his agenda fulfilled very fast. And Trump has been chosen to fulfill the agenda of the master. And that master is the papacy. All right, KC65, in addition to answering you, KC65, in addition to answering you, here is what I want you to know. There is a document or a manual called Project 2025. Project 2025, it's a presidential transition project. Project 2025 presidential transition project, all right? I'm sure many Americans are familiar with this document, Project 2025. And this Project 2025, it is the Puppet Master's Manual, okay? It is the Puppet Master's Manual. So if you have an extra gadget, please go to Google and download Project 2025, okay? So everything Trump is doing, it's written in this Project 2025 manual, all right? The 2025 Project 2025 presidential transition has a plan on how the master will conquer the world, on how the master will use the United States to gain global control, to gain global power. All right. So I'm going to read some few things in the Project 2025. And let me welcome everybody watching us at this time. Welcome to All Things Podcast. If you're watching us for the first time, welcome, and we thank you for choosing to spend time with us this morning. And please subscribe to the channel if you are not yet subscribed to the channel. All right, Miriam Flows says, wait, if he is the puppet of the papacy, why is the Pope not supporting Trump? Good question, good question. All right, remember, you create chaos, and out of the chaos, you create order. Create chaos, out of the chaos, you create order. So if Trump is the puppet of the papacy, why is the Pope not supporting Trump? The Pope cannot appear as supporting Trump because the whole nations then will know the entire scam. This is how it is playing out, okay? Remember, one world government, one world religion. So the Trump is busy making sure that he's preparing the nations to form a one world government. On the other hand, the Pope is preparing the world to form one world religion. All right? Trump is creating a one world government alliance. The Pope is creating one world religion alliance. That's why the Pope, the past 2 days, the Pope was in Algeria, okay? And in Algeria, he said Muslims and Christians can have friendship and live together. He says Christians should not fear Muslims, all right? So the Pope is busy playing his role as a religious leader, a global religious leader, bringing all religion, bringing all churches into one so that we have a one world religion. Donald Trump, or Dr. Trump, on the other hand, he is leading all nations to form a one world government. Miriam, these two are one. Now, here is why they don't want to appear to be working together. The reason they don't want to appear to be working together It's because the countries that they are supposed to unite, the religions that they are supposed to unite, will begin to doubt the union, the reality of the Pope. Does the Pope really want us to have a one world religion, or the Pope has some clandestine agenda? So the Pope must appear to be politically free, not to be politically affiliated, but we know the Pope is behind everything that is happening. Trump must appear to be hating the Pope, the religious leader. Trump must appear to be fighting with the church, to be rejecting the church, so that people like us who can see what is happening, when we say Trump and the Pope are working together to bring about a one world government and a one world religion, you will say impossible, because Trump and the Pope are fighting. That's what they want you to see. That's what they want you to think. And yes, of course, today people think Trump is Pope's biggest enemy, or the Pope is Trump's biggest enemy. It is not the case. These two are one. Trump is leading the world to a one world government. The Pope is leading the world to a one world religion. When Pope has achieved its mandate and Trump has achieved its mandate, then these two will be united. We're going to have a one world government and a one world religion. And the leader of that one world government and one world religion will be the Pope of Rome. It will be the papacy. That is exactly what is happening. Taylor says, come on, it ain't fun without a little back and forth. All right, well, it's too early. It's too early, Taylor. It's too early, Taylor. Man, no beef, no fun. Don't worry, don't worry. It's too early. We're still warming up, Taylor. We're still warming up, Taylor. Taylor says Trump tells it like it is and isn't afraid to shake up the system. Of course, he's not afraid to shake up the system. That's why Trump was able to tell Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and Alex Jones that they are low IQ. They have low IQ. Trump can say whatever he wants to say to anybody, and no one will ever reprimand him or rebuke him. All right? Yeah, you will say to me, okay, if Trump can say anything to anybody, why did then Trump remove his post as Jesus? You know why Trump removed his post as Jesus? He removed it because it had now achieved its goal. Remember, we said here on the platform that the reason Trump attacks Pope, it was the only way Pope can be introduced to the war. It was the only way the Pope's voice can be introduced to this global war. Because before Trump attacked the Pope had been speaking about the war, but he had never received the world spotlight. Nobody paid attention to what the Pope has been saying about the war. Before Trump attacked the Pope had said the war is unjust, but Pope's word never reached a handful of people. The Pope's words or the Pope's remarks did not go global until Trump decided to summon the Pope's ambassador in the Pentagon. It is after that that people began to pay attention to the Pope. What did the Pope say? Why did Trump summon the Pope's ambassador in the Pentagon? That's when people started to find out what the Pope was saying or what the Pope is saying. And even that did not have more attraction until Trump decided to go full force on the Pope. And that is when globally everyone was talking about the Pope as the man of peace. That is when everyone globally began to pay attention to the Pope, to follow the Pope. So what Trump did in attacking the Pope, he was introducing the Pope to the global platform. He was introducing the Pope to the world, social media, okay, to the world's news. Right now, everyone is talking about Trump attacking the Pope. So if Trump had not attacked the Pope, nobody will be talking about the Pope. Nobody will be questioning the Pope about his views on the war. Today, wherever the Pope goes, they're asking him about the war. They're asking him about what he thinks of the Trump administration. Are you afraid of the Trump's administration? He says, I'm not afraid of Trump administration. I'm not a politician. I preach the gospel. Who gave the Pope that platform? It was Trump who gave Pope that platform. They created a chaos, and out of that chaos, some order was gained. So that's how they work, Miriam flows. That's how they work. Okay. Miriam Flo says, I appreciate the clarification. It reminds me of Revelations. I believe, Father, God is against a one world religion. Definitely against one world religion. Okay. Albert Forrester says, the Pope, an unelected position, I would care what he has to say. The Pope is elected. All right. Good morning, Bulldog. Good morning, Bulldog, and welcome. The Pope is elected. The Pope was elected. The Pope is elected. Guys, there are some powers that are working behind the scenes that we're not allowed to see. All right. Bulldog says, what is the chart? I feel good today. Yeah, we're talking about the power of Donald Trump. We're talking about what Donald Trump has been able to achieve. He has been able to achieve controlling the oil supply of the world. Right now, oil tankers are going to the United States to buy oil. Trump has managed to move the oil market from the Middle East to the United States of America. That is power. That is beautiful. That is remarkable. That is massive. Trump has managed to make the United States of America the oil powerhouse. Oil tankers have left the Strait of Hormuz. Oil tankers have left the Strait of Hormuz, and they're going to the United States to buy their oil. Anyone in the world who needs oil must and will go to the United States of America to buy oil. America, or Donald Trump, has isolated Iran, isolated the Middle East from selling oil. Nobody is buying oil in the Middle East. Nobody is buying oil from Iran. No oil is flowing in the Strait of Hormuz, all right? And oil, it's important. It's needed by all nations of this world, okay? So right now, majority of nations are going to the United States of America to buy oil. That's power. That's beautiful. That's remarkable. And guess who has done it? Donald Trump has done it. Whether we like Trump or we don't like Trump, whether we think he's a fool or he's not a fool, Donald Trump has done something powerful. He has been able to put the new world order in place. Donald Trump has done what we call the Great Reset. In fact, I think 5 or 6 days ago, Trump posted and said the world, something to the effect of the world Great Reset president. I don't remember exactly what he said in his Truth Social. All right. He said the world's #1 president, Great Reset, something to that effect. So Trump has is resetting the world, and he has achieved. It's Africa over again. It's Africa all over again. All right. Even ships from Africa, ships from anybody who needs oil, they're going to United States of America. We saw the satellite image showing us ships, tankers going to the United States of America. We saw that. All right. Says, let them buy the moon too. Bulldog says, take what do not belong. Yeah. Listen, as much as what they're doing, it's not morally correct, but they don't care about morals. They don't care about anything. All right. Taylor says, vibing with the Pope's message of unity. Exactly, they're vibing with the Pope's message of unity. And Pope's message of unity is not only limited to religion. It's also, it's inclusive of political unity, all right? So this is why Miriam Flo, Pope's unity, it's not limited to religion only. It is inclusive of politics, nations, all right? So the Pope is a real, Rochelle Escu says, He hasn't achieved, okay, no. Taylor says the Pope is a real one for always preaching kindness. Yeah, and that kindness will get him what he wants to get. Rochelle says he hasn't achieved anything yet because we are not done in Iran. Yeah, we are not done in, I think we're done in Iran. I think we're done in Iran as much as the goal was. The goal was to isolate Iran. The goal was to shut Iran, stop Iran from selling oil. Remember, if you want to control the supply of oil, or if you want to control the whole world, you need to own or control what the whole world needs. The whole world needs oil, and currently Trump controls the oil, and the whole world is flowing or flocking to the United States of America to get oil. So as much as the agenda, the real goal that America or Trump wanted to achieve in the Middle East or in Iran, it has been achieved. They wanted to control oil in Iran. Right now, they do control oil in Iran. How do they control oil in Iran? The oil in Iran, it's stuck in Iran. No one is buying it. No one is buying it, all right? In other words, in many days, Iran will stop drilling its oil. Iran will stop drilling its oil because there are no buyers, okay? And Iran cannot keep drilling oil. Iran cannot keep drilling oil. It means it's a matter of days or weeks until Iran stops, because even their storage, I'm sure they are now full. I'm sure their storage now, they are full. Even they're refining oil, but nobody is using that oil. Trump has made sure that Iran is stuck with its oil. Taylor says, love how the Pope keeps it real and focuses on what actually works. Bulldog says, the Pope's power is gone. It's too early to say that, brother. Taylor says, come on. A little drama makes it interesting. Taylor and drama. Taylor loves drama. Taylor loves drama. Bulldog, roll with Taylor. It's a good podcast. Yeah, please, somebody give Taylor drama. Give Taylor drama. Taylor is here for some fun. Taylor is here for some blockbuster. Please, somebody. Taylor is here for us today on this podcast. All right, Taylor says, stop being dry. The debate is the best part. All right. The debate is the best part. All right. So this is what is happening. Taylor, don't worry. You're going to get your debate. We are still laying the foundation. Welcome to All Things Podcast. Welcome to All Things Podcast. I am your host, Nati. If you're watching us from the first time, please subscribe to the channel. And help us grow. If you're watching us for the second time, third time, please, we thank you. Keep coming back. And therefore, let's continue. You hear Taylor. Taylor says the podcast is cold. The podcast is not hot. Taylor wants some debate. Please, let's give Taylor some debate. Early days yet. Let's go. All right. So I'm going to read from Project 2025. This is what they say in Project 2025. All right. This is what they say in Project 2025. And we know the Project 2025 is controlled by a Catholic, okay? Who controls Project 2025? A Project 2025, it's a document from the Heritage Foundation. Who controls the Heritage Foundation? It's Robert Caven, right? It's Robert Caven. Who is this Robert Caven? It's a Catholic. Who does Robert Caven work for? He works for the papacy. All right, so the document I'm about to read is directly from the papacy. This is what the papacy wants the United States to achieve on behalf of the papacy. So what I'm reading from now on, it's what the puppet master wants done. So when we say Trump, it's a puppet. We say Trump, it's a puppet because he's fulfilling the mandate of the puppet master contained in Project 2025. So we are reading from Project 2025. Go to Google, download Project 2025. Project 2025 belongs to the papacy. Project 2025 is the papacy's document. Project 2025 is the papacy's mandate, which Trump is fulfilling. I am reading from Project 2025. This is what they say. They say, by far the most significant danger to America from abroad is China. So they're saying China is the most significant danger to America. All right. They're saying that the communist regime is undertaking a historic military buildup which could result in a nuclear force that matches or exceed America's own nuclear. So they're saying China is an enemy of America because China is building a military capability that is almost reaching to that of the United States of America. And the United States of America, or the papacy, doesn't want China to have that capability. All right. They're saying here, so China is almost matching or exceeds